Imagine buying your absolute dream home in a booming Texas suburb. You sign the 30-year mortgage, pack up your family, and move in, only to realize that you are standing on a street where half the completed houses are completely vacant, the model home parking lots are dead silent, and your hard-earned equity is vanishing in real time. By 2027, 5 specific Texas neighborhoods are on track to become modern-day ghost towns. And this is not because of supernatural spirits, but because of a massive valuation and overbuilding bubble that is officially about to burst. If you are planning a move or an investment in the Lone Star State, you need to see this list before you sign a contract you will regret for the next decade. Because in these 5 zones, the party is officially over. The ghost town criteria. Before we name these specific locations, let us establish the hard, cold data points we use to define an overvalued ghost town market. First, we look at the inventory overhang. Right now, active housing listings in Texas have skyrocketed to 123,000 homes statewide. That is 53% higher than normal, making Texas the 4th most oversupplied housing market in the entire country. Second, we analyze the price-to-income gap. During the pandemic, home prices in the most popular suburbs doubled, and in some cases, tripled. But local salaries did not triple. When local workers earn a median income of around $60,000, they cannot physically support a $500,000 home. And third, we track the investor exit. Neighborhoods that were heavily bought up by out-of-state speculators, short-term rental investors, and institutional buyers are now seeing those exact same investors panic selling to cut their losses, leaving behind rows of empty houses. When builders keep pouring concrete while buyers and investors flee, you get the perfect recipe for a modern-day ghost town. Neighborhood: the Suburban Overhang, Kyle, Buda, and Forney. We start our countdown with the massive suburban overhang in the outer commuter rings of Austin and Dallas, specifically targeting Kyle, Buda, and Forney. 4 years, real estate agents had the exact same sales pitch for young families and retirees who were priced out of the major city centers. Go to Buda or Kyle, it is just 15 to 20 minutes down the highway, and the homes are half the price. And people listened. In Kyle, home prices doubled in just 7 years, jumping from a median of $210,000 in 2019 to $420,000. The population nearly tripled. In Buda, prices did the exact same thing, climbing from $220,000 to a median of $460,000. Up in the Dallas metro, a quiet highway exit like Forney saw its population explode by over 50% since 2020 as developers turned cheap ranch land into miles of identical rooftops. These areas were built for a remote work forever world. But in 2026 and heading into 2027, the return-to-office mandates have tightened. That 20-minute theoretical commute on Interstate 35, or Highway 80, has turned into a brutal, gridlocked 60 to 90-minute daily nightmare in dead-stop traffic. Because of this, demand has completely dried up. In Kyle, home values have already declined from their pandemic highs as the oversupply of new construction gives buyers massive leverage. But the real ghost town catalyst here is the property tax bill. Property taxes on a median home in Buda run close to $11,000 a year. For retirees who moved there on fixed incomes, this tax bill is now higher than their original mortgage ever was. Many are being forced to sell paid-off homes because they literally cannot afford the taxes, creating a wave of forced inventory with zero local buyers to absorb it. Neighborhood: the luxury trap, Celina and Leander. For our next 2 neighborhood zones, we are exposing the ultimate luxury traps of the far north Dallas and northwest Austin exurbs, Celina and Leander. These areas were not built as cheap, affordable starter home suburbs. They were heavily marketed as premium, high-end lifestyle destinations. Look at Celina. Its population grew by an astonishing 191% over a 4-year period. Developers rushed in to build master-planned communities like Light Farms and Mustang Lakes, complete with resort-style pools, on-site schools, and manicured golf courses. Home prices in these communities easily start at $600,000 and push well past $1 million. Over in Leander, the story is similar. It became the ultimate Austin commuter destination, with its population tripling in 15 years as developers threw up luxury master-planned communities on raw ranch land. The median home price peaked at $560,000. But here is the warning: when the market cools, these luxury fringe areas are the very first to get cut. Why? Because the carrying costs in these brand new communities are mathematically unsustainable. Because these neighborhoods were built on raw land, they rely on municipal utility districts, MUDs, to fund the water lines, roads, and sewers. The developer passes 100% of this massive infrastructure debt directly onto the homeowner. In Leander, a homeowner in a master-planned community can easily pay effective property tax rates above 3% of the home's value. On a $560,000 home, that is a staggering $17,000 annual tax bill. In Celina, property taxes on a median home run close to $18,000 every single year. You are paying a massive lifestyle premium for amenities that the resale market will not value in 18 months. As high interest rates keep shrinking the luxury buyer pool, these high-tax mud districts are turning into ghost towns where listings sit for months because nobody wants to inherit an $18,000 a year tax bill. Neighborhood, the Epicenter, Taylor and Hutto. And now, we reach the absolute epicenter of the Texas overvaluation bubble, the specific zone that is officially transforming into a modern-day ghost town. Taylor and Hutto. In 2021, Samsung announced a massive $17 billion semiconductor fabrication facility in Taylor. Overnight, the Taylor and neighboring Hutto real estate markets became a speculative feeding frenzy. National builders rushed in, breaking ground on massive subdivisions. Out-of-state speculators, flippers, and California investors bought up entire blocks of homes, fully expecting thousands of high-paid tech workers to flood the area. But then, reality caught up. Samsung announced production delays, scaled back hiring, and delayed their initial timelines. The massive wave of buyers and workers simply never arrived. Today, if you drive through some of these highly speculative neighborhoods in Taylor and Hutto, it feels eerie. Entire completed blocks of brand new, beautiful homes sit with lockboxes on the doors and builder signs on the empty driveways. Some subdivisions look entirely move-in ready from the outside, but are completely vacant on the inside. The builders are in an absolute panic. To clear this stagnant inventory, builders in Hutto are offering price reductions of $30,000 to $50,000. In Taylor, they are offering outright price cuts of $40,000, $50,000, and even $60,000 off the base prices, alongside closing cost credits of $20,000 and free solar packages. The speculation built the inventory, but the buyers are simply not there. Taylor and Hutto are the ultimate warning signs for 2027. How to protect yourself. If you want to protect your family and your net worth from falling into one of these modern-day ghost towns, you have to stop thinking like a speculator and start acting like a surgical buyer. First, you must look for infill neighborhoods instead of fringe exurbs. Infill neighborhoods sit inside established city limits where land is scarce and infrastructure is already paid for. Fringe developments are built on endless raw farmland where builders can, and will, keep building next door, completely destroying your resale value. Second, always check the ratio of owner-occupants versus rentals. Neighborhoods heavily owned by out-of-state investors or short-term rental speculators are highly unstable. When the market dips, those investors will dump their properties, driving your home's value off a cliff. And third, always verify the effective tax rate, not just the base rate. Ask for the specific MUD, ESD, and school district assessments before your option period ends. If the effective tax rate is pushing past 2.5 or 3%, walk away. You do not want to buy a home where the property taxes act as a permanent second mortgage. Closing and summary. The Texas housing market is not failing, but it is undergoing a massive, highly necessary correction. The era of, buy anything and watch it double, is officially dead and buried. In 2027, the market is going to punish those who bought into the overbuilt, high-tax hype, and it is going to reward those who did their homework. You must be a surgical buyer. Have you seen "for sale" signs sitting for months in your specific area? Are there empty new construction blocks near you? Let me know the neighborhood and the zip code in the comments below. If you want to survive this correction and outsmart the market, hit that subscribe button right now. And for a deeper dive into the raw pricing data and the builder concessions happening across the state, make sure to click on my previous video on the Texas liquidity trap or 5 Texas neighborhoods where home prices are set to plummet.